Today I want to share with you something that God promised to us. You know, when people don't know God, they live their life the best they can, and then when things go wrong, they start panicking, and sometimes they start praying as they testify, saying, God, if you are there, please help me, please help me. And this is a desperate prayer, and many times actually God will answer and then let the people know that He's for real. But if you are a Christian and you have surrendered your life to Christ, God made it written in His Word in Galatians 2:20 that if we are Christians, we have been crucified with Christ. Your I has now been crossed. It's no more I, but Christ who lives in me. And Colossians chapter 3 verse 3 says that our lives are hidden with Christ in God. And look at what it means. This is just a picture of God. This is a picture of God. So, this is God. Christ is in God. And I am in Christ. So I am in Christ, and Christ is in God. That is what it means. And this is a wonderful picture of intimacy. And it's also the picture of the marriage. God has created marriage as an image of this. He said that when husband and wife come together, they are no more two, but one. And the proof of it, like the English say, the proof is in the pudding. Well, in that case, the proof is in the child, because it's one child, and in one child you have bits of the husband and bits of the wife, so that people can say, oh yeah, he has my nose, oh, he has your ears, you know. And this is also in the law, traditional law of countries. And I give you the example I know best, that's France. Like 50, 60 years ago, it was still the case that when a woman marries, she abandons her name and takes on the one of the husband. So my mother from Decavel started answering Parent, because that was the surname of my father. But not only that, actually in the law at that time, she was also answering the first name of the husband. So she was completely in my father's identity. She was answering postal letters were coming through the post saying Mrs. Charles Parent, not Janine, that was her first name. She was answering Mrs. Charles Parent, that was the official answering. And even at the time people became widows, then she would be Widow Charles Parent. Now, you know, people have got more freedom to keep their surname or whatever, but that was directly inspired from the Bible, the marriage being an example, an illustration, like the Russian doll, of the reality. And so what the implication is that when you pray, you don't need to repeat what Psalms used to do before Jesus came and changed the situation for us, to open the door of heaven to us by His crucifixion and resurrection. The psalmist was crying, God, I hear, I shout, are you hearing me? Please, you are not answering. Lord, be there. And yet, David had a very close relationship with God, but still, at some time, he was probably doubting. He was feeling dejected because his situation was so dire. Now, God said, before they open their mouth, I will answer. So trust God. And it's also written in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 17 that when we are in Christ, we are one spirit with him. So our conversation is spirit to spirit. Our spirit is one with him. And so we hear each other, we understand each other, we communicate spirit to spirit. So there is that intimacy that is beyond human understanding. So trust God. Just express yourself. He likes hearing us, even though he knows everything we think. But he still likes us to say it. Abba, Father, you are so precious. But you know, I'm really worried today because of, and then you explain, I'm so glad, I'm so thankful. You just express like children express themselves to their parents. Even though you remember that when our children were babies, they could not really talk when they were very little. They would just say, oh, oh, oh. And a mother will always know, oh, baby is hungry, or baby needs a nappy change. It's just an image of God and the conversation we can have with God beyond words. And so feel free to enjoy that intimacy with God, and remember that God is always there. He's not just an invitee, he's not a guest, he's part of the house, and in fact he's the home owner. So everything is in his name. We are in his house, and we are just the members of his household. So enjoy.